Welcome to my new Power BI tutorial where I will walk you through how to build this Power BI dashboard that is behind me from scratch without any advanced knowledge. And during this tutorial, besides some basics, we will also learn some advanced techniques that will definitely elevate your report to next level. Now, enough of talking and let's get started. My name is Bogdan Pavlovic, and if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. First visualization in our dashboard is a new card visualization with an eye-catching purple gradient background. This card will display three key metrics: total tickets, open tickets, and closed tickets. The main feature is the closure rate KPI, which shows the percentage of resolved tickets. This KPI contains conditional formatting that will make value red if it is below target or green if it is above target. Also, next to value, we have arrow up or down depending on performance against the target. Our second visualization is also a new card that contains three KPIs: median resolution time in hours, total tickets resolved on time, and total tickets resolved late. The main feature here will be the SLA KPI, and this KPI presents the percentage of tickets closed on time compared to the total number of closed tickets. This number is also formatted to turn green if it is above target or red with a red background if it is below target. This combination creates a professional and informative display of ticket resolution performance. Now let's move to our next visualization, which is a column chart that shows comparison between created and closed tickets over a period of time. One of the key functionalities here is the drill down option that allows us to analyze data at the year, quarter, or monthly level. In the top right corner, we have a heat map visualization that displays the SLA rate performance by ticket owner. This heat map uses color intensity to represent performance levels. Light green boxes indicate lower SLA rates and dark green boxes represent higher SLA rates. We have applied conditional formatting to enhance readability. When the SLA rate falls below 70%, the box appears in a lighter shade or white. As the SLA rate increases, the box color becomes progressively greener. This color coding scheme allows us to quickly identify top performers represented by darker green boxes and low performers shown in lighter shades. The heat map provides an easy-to-understand visual summary of each ticket owner's performance in meeting SLA targets. It enables immediate recognition of areas that may need improvement in terms of ticket resolution times. In the bottom right corner, we have a minimalistic donut chart. At the center of that chart, we have count of overdue tickets, which is also interactive value. When you click on a ticket category, the center value changes to show the overdue tickets for just selected category. For example, if you click on networks, you will see the overdue tickets for network tickets category. Now the final two visualizations are these two slicers. First is a date slicer created using a standard slicer visualization with a drop-down menu. Here you can select the year, quarter, or month for which you want to see data in the dashboard. And the second slicer is this eye-catching modern tile slicer. This slicer changes color when you hover over it and turns dark purple when selected, making it immediately clear which filters are active. And lastly, we will dive into Figma to build our dashboard's background. I will show you step by step how to create this background that elevates overall design. While design is important, data modeling is the true foundation of any dashboard. We will cover the essential steps: data import, cleaning, model building, theme creation, and creating measures using DAX. By mastering these steps, you will be able to create professional dashboard that turns raw data into valuable insights. My name is Bogdan, and if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. I have plenty of useful tips and tricks to enhance your data visualization skills. Now, enough of talking and let's get started. To build a Power BI dashboard, you will need Power BI Desktop. If you haven't downloaded it yet, follow these steps. Open your web browser and go to Google and type Power BI Desktop download in search bar. Like this, and click on the official Microsoft Power BI desktop download link. select language. I recommend you to select English always and click on download. Here you will need to select version, so usually it will be Power BI Desktop x64. Click here to mark it and select download, and just follow the installation prompts by clicking next when required and accept any necessary agreements by clicking yes. It is totally free, and once you complete the installation process, you can find it in Start menu or on your desktop, and you will be ready to start creating your Power BI dashboard. Our first task in building Power BI dashboard is to import the data into Power BI. This means adding our source files into Power BI that we will use to create our dashboard. And to do that, follow these steps. Go to Get Data option that is under Home tab. Click on Get Data. And here you will see a variety of data connectors available. Some of the most commonly used connectors are Excel files, CSV files, SQL databases. And if your source file is not on this list, you can click on More, and here you will get a list of all connectors available within Power BI. For this example, we will use the text CSV connector since our file is in CSV format. Now click on Connect, and let's find location of our file. And my source file is named ticketing.csv because it is in CSV format. Click on it. And once we selected the file we want to import, a new window will pop up with a preview of our file. And here we have two options, load and transform data. By selecting load, we will import the data directly into our Power BI model. However, by choosing transform data, we will be taken to Power Query, and that's a powerful tool within Power BI used for data transformation and cleaning. And it is usually best to modify data before importing it, or at least check how columns are formatted and if there are any errors within the data. Therefore, we will go with transform data option. Now we are in Power Query, and as you can see, we have only one column where all the data is stuffed in, while we should have multiple columns. Usually when importing a CSV file, Power Query should recognize the limiter, which is a comma. And as you can see, after each data point we have comma. Here we have ID, comma, date, comma, again, date, comma, category, comma, name, comma. And as I mentioned, Power Query should recognize the limiter, which is comma, because CSV stands for comma separated values, because it uses commas as separators. We can solve this easily by using split column option, which is located here under Home tab. So just select Split by Columns, select by Delimiter, and our delimiter will be comma. Here you have a list of other delimiters, and you can add custom delimiter here just by typing. It can be anything, like, I don't know, it can be slash, but in our case that will be comma. Now here we have split at each occurrence of the delimiter, so we will select this option because we want to split data after each comma sign. Now let's select OK. And now we have all columns available from our source file. Next step in data transformation will be to set title for all columns, because currently as title we have column 1, column 2, column 3 and so on. And we need to have value from the first row as title. So instead of column 1, we should see ticket ID, date opened, date closed. So we need to move values from first row to title. And to do that, we will apply one simple step. And we will do that by clicking on table icon that is located here in top left corner and select use first row as headers option. And here it is. Now we have normal column titles. Now we need to check data types. You can check data type of each column left from column title. And if you want to change it, just click on it and select appropriate type. This column is formatted as date, and that is correct data type we need. So let's just close this and let's check other columns. So we have ticket ID is formatted as a text. This is normal because here we have both text and numbers. Therefore, text format is fine. Next, we have date closed. It is formatted as date. Resolution due date same. Category formatted as text. assigned to as a text, status also as a text. From this perspective, everything looks fine, and we can apply steps we made and close Power Query by clicking on Close and Apply in top left corner. And now we have successfully imported our data source, and we also applied some modification steps to our dataset. Next step is to create a calendar table within our model, and we will do that by using DAX functions. Now to create a new calculated table, let's navigate to Model View, and here under Home tab, we have option New Table. Select New Table, and let's name it Calendar Table. Equal to, and to create calendar table, we will use one simple time intelligence function, and that is calendar out. This one, let's just close parentheses. We do not need any arguments within parentheses, and press enter. And as you can see here, new table has been created that contains only the date column. Now let's go to table view to see what we got. Go to table view. And here is our column that we have just created. So what this function does, it creates new table that contains date column that starts from the first date within our data set and ends with the latest date. And if you add any new data to your model that contains new dates, calendar table will be automatically updated to include those new dates. Now let's select this table, and as you can see, it is in date time data type. Usually we won't need hours dimension, therefore we are going to change this only to date type. Let's select date type, and now we have it in date format, but that starts with January. Me personally, I do not prefer this format. I usually like shorter format to see date just in numbers, and therefore I will format this column. So go here and under format, click on this drop down menu, and here we have different dates format, and you can use whatever you wish. Me personally, I always use short date format. Now the next essential date related columns that we need to include in our calendar table are year, quarter, and month, and we will create them by using time intelligence DAX functions. And to create a new column within our table, we have two different ways. We can select new column from column tools menu, and let's select it. Let's name this one year, and for this column we will use year function, and within parentheses we will add our date column. So what this function does is it will extract year from our date column. Let's do same for the month. Let's name it month, equal to DAX that we are going to use is month, and within parentheses we will add date column. Close parentheses, press enter. Now we have month number. Let's check it. We have all 12 months. That's good. And next column that we are going to need is quarter. Again, select new column. Let's name this quarter equal to, and let's use quarter DAX function. And also we will add date within parentheses, and let's close it. And now we have quarters. Let me check. We have all 4 quarters. That's good. Now, instead of quarter number, I want to see Q1, Q3, Q4, and so on. And to do that, we will add letter Q in front of this function under quotation marks and connect it with the quarter function using ampersand. So let's do that. Let's select new column, and let's name it quarter name equal to, and let's put letter Q under quotation marks, and let's connect it using ampersand, and let's connect it with our quarter function, or sorry, with our quarter column. Close parentheses, press enter. Okay, now we have error because I added close parentheses by mistake. Let's just remove them. Oh, here it is, it works. Let me check. We have Q1, Q3, Q4. And last column we need is month name. So let's create month name. Go to new column, or there is another way. You can just navigate to your table where you want to create a new column. right click on that table and select new column. And let's now create month name column equal to, and to get month name we will have to use format function, and our first argument will be date column, and second will be format that we want to see our date column, and we will add at it in quotation marks as 3 M's, because 3 M's stands for short month name. Let's close parentheses. And this formula will convert each date in date column to its corresponding 3-letter month abbreviation. For example, here we have January 1st, 2024. That will become January. And let's check any other month. So here we have February, and it will become only Feb. And this column is helpful in visualization where we want to display month names instead of numbers. And now the last step for now in our calendar table will be to mark calendar table as date table. And we will do that by navigating to our calendar table in data pane, right click on it and select mark as date table. Now turn on this option, mark as a date table, choose a column. Here we will need to choose our date column, and it is validated successfully. Let's save it. Now, why you need to do this is because marking a table as a date table in Power BI enables built-in time intelligence function and ensures consistent date-related operations across your model. Next step in data modeling phase will be to create relationship between calendar table and our fact table. Now to do that, let's go to model view. And there is a two-way how we can create relationship between these two tables. But before that, we need to find primary key and foreign key. A primary key is a unique identifier for each row in dimension table. And in our case, dimension table is calendar table. And foreign key is a column in fact table that references the primary key of related dimension table. Now, first way is by dragging primary key on top of the foreign key. And let's do that. So our primary key in calendar table will be date, and foreign key in our fact table will be date opened. So let's just click on date column and drag and drop it on top of the date opened column. And new window will pop up for relationship creation where we need to confirm cardinality and cross filter direction. So what this window tells us is that we are creating relationship between calendar table and ticketing table, and as a primary key we will use date column, and as a foreign key we will use date opened column. Cardinality is one to many, which means that in calendar table we only have unique values, while in ticketing table, our fact table, we have duplicated values, and therefore our cardinality will be one to many. You should always have one to many cardinality and single cross filter direction in order to get best and 100% accurate results. However, this is possible only if all rows in your dimension table are unique. And to create a relationship, just click on save, but I want to do that. I will select cancel because I want to show you another way. So here in home tab, we have manage relationships option. Click on it. And now let's select new relationship. A new window will pop up where we will create our relationship. So from table, we will select here our dimension table, that is calendar table. And let's select our primary key, and that will be date. And we want to connect it to table, that is ticketing, our fact table, with date opened. This is our foreign key. And as you can see, we have same options. Cardinality is one to many. Cross filter direction is single. Make this relationship active. Leave that checked. And here everything is fine because our calendar table and date column has only unique values. If you have any duplicated values, or let's say not all values within your table, they are not unique. So let's select any other column that doesn't have unique values. So let's select month. you will get error message. And this relationship has cardinality many to many, and this should be used, blah, blah, blah. But usually you should avoid using many to many. And we got many to many because here we do not have unique values, we have duplicated values. So this is many side, and this is also many side where we have duplicated values. In that case, you will get this like warning message that you should avoid this kind of relationships. So let's go to date table, date column, and let's click on save. Let's close it. And now, as you can see, a relationship between these two tables has been created. And this line clearly indicates that here we have one side, this is many side, and cross-filter direction is single. Next thing what we're going to do is we will create a custom theme in Power BI, and I recommend you always to create your custom theme because it improves report aesthetics and consistency. And the most important thing, you won't have to change visualization colors for each visualization. Instead of that, Power BI will automatically apply your custom theme and colors that you have predefined. Now let's create a theme. To create new theme, we will go to our report view, select view tab, and on the left side, we have predefined themes, but we do not want them. We want our theme with colors that we have defined. And to do that, select this drop-down menu, and let's go down and select customize current theme option. So here we have colors that Power BI would use, but we do not want them. We want other colors. So let's assume that you are working for a specific company and your company has brand colors. It is, let's say, yellow and black, and you want to have report in that theme, black and yellow. And if you do not have already predefined theme, you can use some online color palette generators, or you can ask ChatGPT for inspiration, and then you can apply your chosen colors to various elements such as visualization and text. Now let's try this with ChatGPT. Let's go to our browser and let's ask, can you create good looking modern custom theme for Power BI? Now, our prompt goes like this. Can you create good looking modern custom theme for Power BI? I want to use green and purple color for visualization and gray for background. And let's press enter. And what ChatGPT did for us, it created a JSON code that we will just copy. Let's select copy, reduce this, and select location where we want to save it. And I want to save it in this new folder. So we will need to save this in txt file. Right click in folder, show more options, select new, and let's select text document, and we will name this custom theme. Press enter, open it. And now let's just paste code that ChatGPT provided us, and let's save it, Control S, close it. And now let's rename this file that we have created. Select rename option, and what we want to rename is this extension. We want to change it from txt to JSON. Press enter, yes, I'm sure. And now let's import this into Power BI. Let's open Power BI and let's cancel this. Let's go back to View tab, select drop-down menu, and here we have option Browse for Themes. And here it is in new folder. Double click on it. Let's import it. File successfully added. Okay, now let's check if it is working. Go to Customize Current Theme. And here it is. ChatGPT created a theme for us that uses green and purple color as main colors. And let's check for the text. Okay, text is black. We didn't emphasize that. You should also emphasize that you want to see text in, let's say, gray colored or dark gray. Okay, now we have some second level elements, third level, they are gray. This is good. Okay, let's apply this, select apply, and now our new theme has been applied. And let me show you how this works. So let's add one bar chart here, and let's add a category and assigned to, and let's add again a category here. And here, as you can see, now we have our first visualization in colors that we have defined. So everything is in purple or gray color. If we didn't created our custom theme, Power BI would show us this in different colors that we do not want, and we would have to go format pane and select bars and format and to change color for each bar. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different bars, so you will have to go one by one to change color. Now I don't want to use this. I will use another theme that I already built, and I will again go for browse for themes, and here it is. This is my ticketing system theme. Okay, got it. It is imported, and now you can see that colors has been changed. Let's delete this visualization. And second way how you can create an, let's say, interesting color theme is by using one of the color palette generators that we have on internet. So let's go to again to browser, and let's just type color palette generator. And let's select any of these. So let's select this one. And let's select explore trending palettes. This is in case if you do not have any idea. Here you can check some really cool color palettes that you can apply to your Power BI dashboard. And let's take, I don't know, maybe this green one. And what you're going to do, so here when you hover over each color, you will get different hex codes. And what you need to do is just to click on specific color, and you see color copied to the clipboard. Now let's go to our Power BI, and let's select again drop down menu, select customize current theme, and now select color one, and here you have hex code. Let's just replace this hex code. Control V, click somewhere else. Now let's go back, browser, let's select this one, click on it, and let's change this one. Okay, now we got the green one, and you will need to do that for each color you want to change, but I will click on cancel because I already have imported my color theme. Let's cancel this. Yeah, and one more thing to add, if you're creating a new theme by using customize current theme, be sure to name it, apply it, and then to save it by again clicking on drop down menu and selecting this option save current theme, so you can reuse it for your future reports. Now let's start creating measures, and before we build our first measure, we will create measures table where we will store all our measures. And to do that, go to Home tab and select Enter Data. Now new window will pop up, and you just need to rename this table, or you don't have to, as you wish. And let's name it as measures table. And now just go to load. And now we can see our measures table in data pane. So let me tell you why we did that. What is the purpose of measures table in Power BI? And purpose is to organize and manage your measures in centralized location, and that will make your data model clear and easier to work. And on the end, it is common Power BI practice. So what we usually do is we want to save all our measures within this measure table. Now, first measure we are going to create is for our first visualization, and that is number of total tickets. Now, there is two ways we can select new measure option, or we can just right click on measures table and select new measure. And let's name it total tickets. And to calculate total tickets, we will use count function. And as an argument, we will use date opened. Now, this function will count each ticket that has date opened, and we will get then exact number of total tickets that have been opened within the system. Press enter. Now let's check this measure, just drag and drop it on canvas. Okay, and we have 1558 tickets. Let's leave this visualization here. Now let's build other measures that we will use in this visualization. Second measure that we will need is number of open tickets. Let's repeat same step, go to measures table, right click on it, select new measure, and let's name it number of open tickets equal to. So here we want to calculate number of tickets that are not closed yet, that have status open. So to do that, we will use most important function within Power BI, and that is calculate. You must know this function. And within calculate, we will use measure that we have just created. So we want to calculate total tickets. And as a filter, we will use status column, and status should be equal to open. Close parentheses. So what we did here is we want to calculate number of total tickets which have status open. So the ones that have status closed won't be calculated. So let's just press enter. And let's check. Drag and drop it. Okay, 177 open tickets at this moment. And let's create third measure, and that will be number of closed tickets. And we will use almost same function, so we can just copy and paste this function. Let's copy, Control C, go to measures table, new measure, paste it, and instead of status open, we will use status closed. So calculate all tickets that do have status closed. Press enter. Okay, we forgot to rename this. And let's check number. And this is correct number. And now let's create our first visual using these three measures. So let's delete this one. And for our first visualization, we will use new card. That is this one here. Now let's add measures that we have created, and let's select this data option. And in data, we will add our main number, and that is number of total tickets. Let's just drag and drop it here. Okay, now we have 2000 total tickets, and let's make this number more accurate. Select total tickets measure, and okay, we want to see it as a whole number, but let's go to format pane and go to callout values, and under apply settings tool, let's select total tickets, and here under total tickets we will now get this display units option, and instead of auto we will change this to none. Okay, now we have exact number of total tickets. Now let's add other two measures that we have created, and that is number of open tickets and closed tickets, and we will add them as reference labels. So let's reduce this, go to reference labels, and here in this field add label, let's add them. We can drag and drop them, or you can click here add data and find them. It is in our measures table, and First measure will be open tickets, second will be closed tickets. And okay, situation is similar as for total tickets. We need to change this to exact number. And let's just select label, open tickets, scroll down, go to value, and here within display units, change this from auto to none. And I did that for open tickets. Let me do that for closed tickets. Closed tickets, value, display units, none. And now as you can see, number of closed tickets is exact. Now we have one more measure, one more number in this visualization, and that is closure rate. So closure rate is percentage of closed tickets against total tickets. And to calculate that, we will use following function. Let's go to measures table, select new measure, and let's name it closure rate percentage equal to, and to get percentage we will use divide function, and numerator will be number of closed tickets, comma, denominator will be total tickets. So what we are doing here is we are dividing number of closed tickets with number of total tickets. And let's close parentheses, press enter. And this way we will get percentage of closed tickets against all tickets. Now let's select this measure, let's check it, drag and drop it here. And it is in decimal format. Now we want to change it to be percentage in percentage format. And to do that, select measure. And here below format, you have this percentage button, or you can change it here in this drop down menu and select percentage. And we will get exact percentage. Now let's reduce this to only one decimal, and we can do it here like this. This is much better. It looks cleaner, at least. Now let me show you one trick how you can distinct your measures table from other tables. And to do that, you will need to have only measures within this measure table. And currently we have only one column, that is column 1, which is created automatically when we created measures table. So what we're going to do is we will delete this column. And once I delete it from model, pay attention to measure table icon that is on left side. Now let me delete this. Yes. And you see how icon next to measures table has been changed. And now it indicates that this is table that contains only measures. And now let's add our last measure, and that is closure rate, to our first visualization. And we want to add it next to number of open tickets. And to do that, click on visualization, go to reference labels, and under select label here, select open tickets. Scroll down, down, and here you will see this detail option. Turn it on, expand it, and here in this data field, let's add our measure that we have created, that is closure rate. Click it here, and it's here. Now it's added to our visualization. But as you can see in visualization, we want to create here next to percentage, we have arrow up for rates that are above target, and arrow down if closure rate is below target. Now how we will add these arrows? To add arrows, we will have to create one new measure that will add arrow to this percentage number. Now to create this measure, we will combine multiple different functions in order to get vertical line CR equal to, and then to get percentage, and then to get interactive arrow that will go up if we are above target or down if we are below target. And let me show you how you will create this measure. So let's go to our measures table, right click on it and select new measure. Now, because we have one condition, and that is our target closure rate needs to be above target, and target is, let's say, 95%. So we will write it like this. CR, let's name it CR percentage equal to, and if. Now, if closure rate is above 95%, and we will type that with 0.95, because 95% in numbers is 0.95. Then, if this is correct, then we want to get vertical line, and now within parentheses we will add text that we want to see. So if this is true, give us vertical line CR percentage, or let's do it without percentage because we will have it percentage on the end of the number, CR equal to, and let's close parentheses because this will be whole text we want to see, and now we want to add number, and by number I'm referring to closure rate percentage, and we will connect it using ampersand like this, and let's add our measure closure rate. And now we want to add next to closure rate arrow up or arrow down. Now, because this is condition if closure rate is bigger than 95%, then we want to see arrow up. And to get arrow, we will use unitchar function. Let's connect this again using ampersand, and let's add unitchar function. And now as an argument, we need to add a number. Which number we need to add? We can find on the internet a bunch of numbers that are used within this function that will return us a symbol, a letter, a number, or anything you find. And you can get a list of these numbers, or let's say a list of these codes on website Vertex 42. Now let me open that website. Now go to Google and type Vertex 42 symbols. Press enter, and here you will get this link, huge list of Unicode character symbols. Select it, and here you have a list of all kind of types of symbols. And let me find arrows. Here it is. And here you have numbers that will display arrow that is in this box. So let's find arrow we want to use, and let's use this one. Just copy it, select this number, copy. Let's go to Power BI and paste it, and let's close parentheses. And now let's put comma. So this will be result if closure rate is bigger than 95%. If it is not, if result is false, then we want to see again. Let's add parentheses. Let's add quotation marks, because within quotation mark we will add text that we want to see, and we want to see vertical line space CR space equal to close quotation marks. Let me move this. And again, we will use ampersand to connect it with closure rate. And let's find closure rate measure. Here it is. And now let's connect it again with unitchar that will give us arrow down. Let's go back to Vertex and let's find arrow down. Here it is. Control C and Control V. Close parentheses, and let's close them one more time. Enter. Okay, now let's add this measure instead of closure rate that we added here. Now to do that, go to Format pane, Reference Labels, Open Label, select Label Open Tickets. Scroll down, find detail, and here we have closure rate. Now we will add new one. That is this one. And this is the result. Closure rate equal to 0.886 with arrow down. Okay. Now we do not want this long number, and it has to be in percentage. And to do that, we will need to format closure rate measure that is here. And let's format it by using format function. So in front of closure rate, let's add format function. Format. And we want to format closure rate at comma. And we want to format it as a %. And under quotation marks, just type %, close quotations, and close parentheses for format function. And let's do the same for value if result is false. And let's copy this part, Ctrl C, and replace here with Ctrl V. Press enter. Now here we got nice and clean number. And this looks much better. And last step that we need to do for this visualization is to format it to align these numbers a little bit, to set background to be transparent for both fields or to be white for both fields. We also want to apply some conditional formatting to see closure rate green if it is above target or red if it is below target. Now let's start formatting this measure. Let's go to format pane. And let's reduce first everything. And now go to callout values. First, what we will do is we will set horizontal alignment to center like this. And let's do that also for reference labels. Go to reference labels and select series, change this to all. Go below and select layout. And set horizontal alignment to center, and also you can set vertical alignment to center. Now the last step will be to remove this horizontal line, and to do that, select this divider option and turn it off. In case you do not see this divider option, scroll up and make sure that you have selected all series, and you will see divider option and turn it off. And last thing that I forgot to do is to format this closure rate value to be green if it is above target or red if it is below target. And to do that, let's go to format pane, click on visual, go to format pane, go below to reference labels, and here under select label, check open tickets, scroll down and expand detail value. And here we have closure rate percentage. Now we want to format font color and background color. And to do that, we will use conditional formatting option. And that is this FX sign. Click on it. Now let's format font to be green when value is above target or red if it is below target. First, change format style to rules. And now here, search measure you want to format, and that will be closure rate. Now we have two closure rates. First closure rate is without this arrow here, and second one is with these letters and arrow. And that one is formatted as a text, and we cannot apply conditional formatting to text values. We can apply, in this case, only to measures that are formatted as number. Therefore, we will select closure rate. And on the end, it is the same number, only this one doesn't contain letters. First rule we will define is if value is equal to or bigger 95%, and for 95 we will use 0.95, so this will be 95%, and less or equal to, change this to less or equal to maximum value, font will be green. Now let's select green color from here. Let's use a darker green, something like this. And let's add new rule, click here, and if value is higher or equal to minimum and less than 0.95, because this is our target. If it is less than target, we want to see red text. Now select red color, something like this, dark red, and select OK. And now we have red font because this value is below target. Now let's format the background. Go here to color and select conditional formatting. It is same under detail. Change style to rules. Select again closure rate. And if value is higher or equal to 0.95 and equal or less to maximum, just type here max, then value will be, background will be light green. Let's find light green color like here, and let's add a new rule. And if value is higher or equal to minimum and less than 0.95, then we will have light red background. Select something like this and click on OK. And here it is. Now we have letters in red and background in red color also if value is below target, and also the arrow that we have is in red color. And that's it for now for this visual. We will apply some steps later on the end, but at this moment we will continue with building our second visualization. Second visualization we will create will also be a new card visualization. So let's add a new card visualization. First, let's delete this closure rate measure. Click on it and press delete on your keyboard. And now let's go here to visualization, gallery, and from drop down menu, let's select new card. And let's move it here in top right corner. And for this measure, we want to present median resolution time in hours. And below as reference values, we will present number of tickets resolved on time and resolved late. Now the SLA detail will display the percentage of tickets resolved within the, let's say, acceptable time frame or due date. And this metric will be presented in green if it is above target, or red if it is below target, with an arrow indicating the trend, as we did in our first visualization. Now let's create these three measures. First measure that we will create is median resolution time. And to calculate this, we will use one of the most used time intelligence DAX function, and that is date difference. And be sure to remember this function. We will use this function to create a new column. So we won't be creating measure, we will create a column. And to create new column, let's navigate to table view, select table view, and on the right side, select table where we want to create this new column. That will be ticketing table. That is our fact table. And as you can see here, we have 3 date columns. First is date opened, second date closed, and resolution due date. So to calculate median resolution time, we will use date opened column and date closed column. This is the date when the ticket is closed. If this date is blank, that means that this ticket is still open. Now let's create column. Navigate to new column, select new column, and let's name it resolution time equal to. Now, as I said, we will use date diff DAX, and first argument will be date opened. So we will use date opened column as a first argument, and second argument will be date closed. Now press comma. And here now we have new window that is indicating interval in which we want to see results. Do you want to see this difference between these two dates in days, in hours, in minutes, in months, in quarter, in second, in week, or in year? For this example, we will present data in hours. Therefore, I will select hour. And now let's just close parentheses, and press enter. And as you can see, new column has been created, resolution time, and here we have some blank values. Let's check why we have blank values. Let's filter only to blank values, select OK. And the reason for having blank values is because for some tickets we do not have closed date because those tickets are still opened, and therefore Power BI didn't calculate the difference between 2 days because one of them is not populated. Let's check other results. Let's select all and remove blanks. Now here we have resolution time 120 hours. Okay, let's find something less. 24 hours, that should be 1 day. So as you can see here, date opened is May 16, date closed May 17. As you can see, it will show 24 hours because here we have only date dimension. In case you have both date and time dimension, you will get exact number of hours. Or you can also change this third argument only to days to see number of days required to resolve a ticket. Just change it from hour to day and you will get results in days. Let's remove filter and resolution time, and as you can see now it is presented in days. Date open May 16, date closed May 17, it is 1 day. Okay, this works, everything is well. Let's just return this to hours. And let's clear filter. Okay, now let's go to report view, and from here we will create a measure that will be used as a KPI for this new card visualization, and that is median resolution time in hours. And to calculate median value, we will have to use another DAX, and that is median. Very simple DAX. It requires only one argument, and that will be our new column that we have just created. So let's navigate to our measures table, right click on it, select new measure, and let's name it median resolution time equal to, and let's use median DAX, and our argument will be new column that we have created, and that is resolution time. Let's close parentheses and press enter. Now let's drag and drop this measure to check if we have any errors. Okay, it works. Median resolution time is 72 hours. Let's just change this to whole number. I do not want to see decimals. And from here, from format menu, select drop down menu and select whole number. Now let's create our second measure, and that will be number of tickets resolved on time. And to get this number, we will use DAX formula that you must know, and that is calculate. This is most common used formula and most important one. So let's go to our measures table, right click on it, select new measure, and let's name it number of resolved on time equal to, and let's use calculate. So calculate is most closest formula to sum if from Excel. So here we want to sum or to count or to use any other aggregation with some filter. Now what we want to do is to calculate total tickets that have been closed on time. And how we will know that they have been closed on time? We will know that because date when ticket is closed is less than resolution due date that we have in our data set. And let me go back to our table view to show you that. And let's go to our fact table. Now, if date when the ticket is closed, let me show you, is less than resolution due date, let's change this to short date. It will be easier to read. And date closed, same. Now, if date when the ticket is closed is less than the resolution due date, that means that this ticket is resolved on time. And in this example, this ticket is closed on May 19 of 2024 and the resolution due date is in February of 2025. So this means that it is closed on time because it is before resolution due date. Now let's check any other example. So this one here, this one is closed on November 3rd and the resolution due date was November 5th. And this one is also resolved on time. And it will be taken into calculation. Now let's go back to our report view and select measure we have started building. Now we want to calculate from all tickets, and we already have measured total tickets. So you can use measure, or you can create a new expression, and that will be, we want to see sum of all tickets, and we cannot use sum because sum is used for numbers, therefore we will use count function to count all tickets. Count, and let's select ticket ID number, and if we count all ticket IDs, we will get total number of all tickets that we have within our system or within our data model. And let's close parentheses for count and add comma. Now we want to add first filter, so this is like first condition, our first if. Now we want to calculate all tickets where resolution due date is higher than closed date. This one, and let's press enter. But before we press enter, let me just quickly explain you what I did here. So we want to count all ticket IDs, and by counting all ticket IDs we will get total amount of tickets within our system. And here we have filter or condition, and that condition is that resolution due date must be bigger than date closed, or date close must be less than resolution due date, as you wish. Now let's press enter, and let's add this measure to our card visualization as reference label. So go to format pane, select reference labels, and here in add label, let's add this new measure we have just created, resolved on time. And it is showing us that amount of tickets resolved on time is 1000, 1k, but we want to see this number more accurate. We want to see whole number, and to do that, scroll down, and here under select label, select resolved on time, scroll down until value, expand value, and here you will have this option display units, and change it from auto to none. And now as you can see, we have exact amount of tickets that have been resolved on time. Next measure we are going to create for this visualization is number of tickets that have been resolved late. And to do that, we will use most important DAX function, and that is calculate. So let's navigate to our measures table, right click on it, select new measure, and let's name this measure resolved late, or like this, number of tickets resolved late equal to, and as I said, we will use calculate. So as an expression, we will use total tickets, or you can use sum of total tickets, or count if ID is in text format, total tickets, comma, and as a filter. Now this is something similar to if, and as a filter we will use due date and date close. Now the tickets where date closed is after due date, that means that they are late. So we will write that same, and we will do it like this: due date is less than closed date, or you can do it opposite, closed date is bigger than due date, like this. And let's close parentheses and press enter. And now let's add this measure below in reference labels, Now select visualization, go to reference labels, and here under add label, add new measure that we have just created, and that will be resolved late, like this. And we have 100 tickets that have been resolved late. And last measure that we need to build for this visualization will be SLA compliance rate percentage. So SLA compliance rate percentage is number of tickets that have been closed on time. And let's start with calculation. Go to our measures table, right click, new measure, and let's name it SLA compliance rate. Let's add percentage sign equal to. Now this measure will be a little bit more advanced because we are going to use variables. If you're absolute beginner to Power BI, you don't need to know variables. Creating variables is just one way for combining into one. So let's create our first variable. To create variable, we'll just type var space, and now let's name this variable, and that will be compliant tickets. Let's add equal sign, and this variable will be, so we will use calculate, and as expression we want to calculate total tickets, and as a filter we will use tickets that have status closed, so they must be closed tickets. Second filter that we are going to use is date closed must be before due date. That means that they are closed upon agreed time frame. Now let's do that. Date closed must be less or equal to due date, like this. And let's close parentheses. And now when you are calculating using variables, part of function where you will combine this measure is called return. So just type return. And here under return, we will get final result. As final result, we want to see compliant tickets divided with total number of tickets. And then that way we will get percentage of how many tickets have been compliant or closed upon agreed time frame in percentage. Now let's use divide function. And let's use our variable that we have created, and that is compliant tickets. That will be our numerator, and as a denominator we will use total tickets. And let's close parentheses, press enter, and let's check result. Okay, this is good. We got decimal number. Now we just need to change this to percentage. Click on the measure and change it under format. You have percentage button, or you can change it from here, from format menu, just by clicking on this drop down menu and selecting percentage. Now let's add this measure to our visualization, and to do that you need to select visualization where you want to add it. Now we have two options. You can add it below these two values as a reference label, or you can add it next to one of these two values. Now I want to add it next to resolved on time, and to do that let's navigate to our format pane, select reference labels, and here under select label, select measure next to you want to add SLA compliance rate, and that will be resolved on time. Scroll down, and now we have this detail option. Turn it on. In this data field we will add our SLA compliance rate like this, and here it is added right next to resolved on time, but you can add it below as usual. Let me just show you how you can do it. Scroll up, and under reference labels here you have add label option. Now we have these two values already added, and you can add SLA compliance rate below, and it will be added below. But we do not want to do that for this example, so let me remove it. And as you can see, SLA rate here is displayed as a percentage as we want, but it is not formatted. We want to add arrow up if it is above target, or arrow down if it is below target, and to apply same conditional formatting Now to do that, we will need to create additional measure, same as for our first visualization. We will use same principle. Therefore, we can just replicate this measure closure rate that we have created. And let's do that. First, let's find this measure. If I remember correctly, it was named CR percentage. There it is. Select everything, Control C. Let's create new measure and Control V. Now let's name it SLA percentage. And it goes like this. If, now let's change this with SLA percentage, SLA compliance rate. If SLA compliance rate is bigger, in this case, target will be 80%. So let's replace this with 80% and that will be 0.8. Then if this is true, we will get following result. Vertical line SLA equal to, we will use format instead closure rate. Let's add SLA rate like this. Yes, we want to be formatted as percent. Unit char will be arrow up. And if this is not true, we want to have vertical line, and instead of CR, let's use SLA, and again format docs, and instead of closure rate, we will use SLA compliance rate. We want to see it as percent, and this will be DAX formula for arrow down, and let's press enter. Let's replace current detail value to see how our measure is working. Now let's scroll down here under detail and let's add a new measure, SLA percentage. Just drag and drop it, and let's expand this a little bit. Okay, and it works. Now what we need to do is to format this number, and we will do that same here in this detail window. And we want to format font color using conditional formatting. Format style should be rules. We want to format this field based on SLA compliance rate that we have initially created. Now, if value is higher or equal to 0.8, that is 80%, and less or equal to maximum value, then font should be green. Let's select any dark green color. Let's add a new rule. If value is higher or equal than minimum and less than 0.8, then we want to see red font. Select red color, dark red like this, press OK. And as you can see here, font is green because it is above target, which is 80%. And let's just make this bold. Select bold option. Let's add same rules for background. Go here to color option, select conditional formatting and do same steps. Select rules. Here find SLA compliance rate. And if it is bigger or equal to 0.8 and less or equal to maximum, we want to see light red background like this, and that's, sorry, light green background like this. And if it is bigger or equal to minimum and less than 0.8, then we want to see light red background like this. Press OK, and here it is. We are done with the measures for this visualization. It works perfectly. Now what you can do is, in initial video where I showed you this visualization, here next to 72 we have letter H that indicates that this is ours. You can do that just by adding letter H to this measure. Let's do that. Median resolution time. Let's find this measure. Here it is, and expand it. Now let's just add letter H. We will do that by adding ampersand, and under quotation marks we will add H. And let's add space H. Okay, and now let's set this value to be centered. Let's go to callout values, set to center, And we can leave reference labels aligned to the left. This looks well. And one more thing we need to do is to remove this divider. Now to do that, let's go to reference labels and under select series, select all and turn off divider. Okay, now we do not have divider and visualization has white background, which will change later to be transparent if it's needed. Now we will create a simple bar chart that will be the main and biggest visualization in our report, which will present comparison between open and closed tickets over a period of time. Now let's navigate to our visualization menu and select clustered column chart. Yeah, this one is good. Let's click somewhere on blank canvas. Let's add it. Click on it. Let's expand it a little bit. And now in y-axis, let's add date opened column. And now once we added this date open column into y-axis, Power BI automatically set summarization to count and created implicit measure. Implicit measure are the measures that you can create from this data menu by selecting arrow. And here you have summarization option and you can choose between count of distinct values and count of all values. In case if you have number here in y-axis instead of date column, you will be able to see some other implicit measures such as sum, average, and count again. Now let's continue with count, as this measure will give us number of all tickets that do have date opened, and we can consider them as number of open tickets. Now let's do the same for closed tickets. And closed tickets are the ones which have closed date. So let's again select closed date and add it to y-axis. And now we got count of closed tickets. Now this is again implicit measure that Power BI created automatically for us. And now if we want to see results across period of time, per each month, year, quarter, or week, or day, we need to add in x-axis date column. So let's add date column from our calendar table. And here it is. As you can see, this is not what we want. It's not clear, it's not visible, because now we see count of opened and closed tickets per each date, because date column is on day level. What we're going to do to make this visual look better is we are going to add here date hierarchy that we're going to create now. So let's remove this and let's navigate to data pane. Let's reduce this and let's expand calendar table. To create date hierarchy, you need to find highest level within your calendar table, and in my case that will be year. So year is the highest level that I want to have in my date hierarchy. So let's click here on the three dots next to year and select create hierarchy. And here it is, year hierarchy has been created. Now let's add second level to our hierarchy, and second level will be quarter. And we have two columns that indicates quarter. One of them is quarter, that is showing quarter number 1, 2, 3, 4. Second one is quarter name, that will show us Q1, Q3, Q4. It's up to you which column would you like to use. I prefer more to have Q1, Q3, Q4 because it clearly indicates that it is a quarter. Therefore, I will add this column, quarter name, to our hierarchy. Again, click on three dots, select add to year hierarchy. That's it. Let's expand this. Okay, now we can see that we have year and quarter within our hierarchy. And next level that we want to have is months. And I will add month name because I want to see January, February, March in text format. Month column that we have is in the number format. So let's go to month name, three dots, add to hierarchy, and again select year hierarchy. And hierarchy has been created. Now let's drag and drop this to our visualization. Let's add it to x-axis. And now below in chart, you can see all our levels displayed. So we have data by month name, by quarter, by year. And now we got this drill down icons, and using them we can navigate through date dimensions. So let's go up, and now we can see our second hierarchy, that is quarter. We can see results by quarter. Let's go up. Now we will see data by year, which is our highest hierarchy, and now this drill up arrow is grayed out because we do not have higher levels. And let's go down now to expand this using this double arrow down, and it will take us to lower hierarchy until the end. So you can navigate using this arrow to display data how you want or to see data. Now I will drill down to quarter level because I want to see data per each quarter. Now let's add final touch to this visualization, and that is a little bit of formatting. Navigate to format button, select it, and now what we want to do is to remove titles from Y and X axis. Also we will modify legend title and visualization title, and to do that let's go to title, let's turn it off. Let's turn off also title for X axis here. Close this. Let's do the same for Y axis. Turn off title. Let's rename legend. So instead of count of date opened, we want to see number of tickets, let's say created. And instead of count of date closed, we want to see number of closed. And to rename it, just double click here in Y-axis, backspace, and type closed. And let's add a legend title that will be IT tickets. This looks good. Only one more thing we need to add, and that is number of created and closed tickets above bar chart. Let's go back to format pane, find data labels, turn it on, and let's add a background for data labels. Here it is, turn on background, and voila, it is working. Let's make it bigger. Remove this, move this up, and let's make this a little bit bigger. And that's it, we have completed our third visualization. Now let's head over to our fourth visualization, which will be donut chart. In this donut chart, we will present the count and percentage of tickets by category. Now let's create donut chart, navigate to visualizations menu, and select donut chart. Now let's add data under legend. Let's add category. And for the values, we will add total tickets measure. Click here on add data, and let's add our measure, total tickets. Let's close this, and we have our bar chart ready. Now let's format this a little bit. Let's go to format pane, select slices, and set spacing, go to slices, then spacing, and set spacing to, let's say, 85, like this. And in the middle, we want to present number of overdue tickets per category. And to get number of overdue tickets, we will need to create one more measure. And I think that we already have late tickets. Let me check. No, we have resolved late. So to get number of overdue tickets, what we need? So we need to count all tickets that are opened and for which due date is in past. Now to do that, let's go to measures table, new measure, and let's name it overdue tickets equal to, let's use calculate function. So we want to calculate out of all tickets, so total tickets that have status open equal to open. And next condition will be that due date is less than today. and this function will provide me today's date. Now let's close parentheses and press enter. Now to display this value within donut chart, here in the center of the donut chart, we will have to create card visualization and place it in the center of the chart. Now let's do that. Let's create new card visualization, and here we will add our measure, and that is overdue tickets. Just drag and drop it, and let's put it here. Now we need to combine this measure to have it as a 1. And to do that, let's reduce this measure and place it in the center. Now go to size and style and turn off background. And here it is. Now let's apply one more step that will these two visualizations into one. Let's select them both like this. Right click on them and select group. Now this is acting as a one visualization, and if you want to move it, we will move both visualization at the same time as it is one. Okay. Now one important functionality of this donut chart is filtering. So if you want to see number of overdue tickets per category, you just need to click on specific category you want to see. You can do it both on this donut chart or in legend. So let's select network that is marked in purple color, and now we can see number of overdue tickets is 18. So this means that this visualization is interactive. Now let's select hardware from legend, and we see that we have 13 overdue tickets for hardware category. Now let's move to our next and final visualization, and that will be heat map. So this is not standard Power BI visualization, but I will show you how to create it using standard visualization and without any additional formulas. So we will create this heat map using matrix visualization. And within this heat map, we will present SLA rate for our staff, and as SLA rate increase, cell value will increase from white for low SL percentage to green for highest SLA percentage. Now let's build this visualization. Let's go to visualization menu and select matrix visualization. This is matrix visualization. Now in columns, we will add year hierarchy. So let's find our year hierarchy, which is in calendar table, and let's drag and drop it to columns. And in values, we will add SLA compliance rate. And in rows, we will add assigned to. So this is the list of users to whom ticket is assigned. And here it is. Now let's drill down this matrix to quarter level. And here we have drill down arrows. So let's go to next level, and that is quarter level. And currently we cannot see values for all quarters because below in this donut chart we have selected hardware category, and currently we are seeing only SLA compliance rate for hardware category. So let's deselect this category, and now we got results for all tickets, all categories. And let's format this a little bit. First thing that we need to do is to remove totals, column subtotals, row subtotals. That's good. Now let's remove this assigned to field. Click on data and double click on assign to, and let's just leave it. And let's just leave it with space. Now this is better. In the title, let's add title. Here under format pane, let's add title, expand this, and let's name it SLA rate percentage. Now reduce this. Go to layout, style, select minimal, and select layout to tabular. This one. Now let's go to grid. Grid, those are these lines between rows and between columns. So horizontal grid, let's change it to 2 pixels, and let's add vertical grid. Now we have these vertical lines, and let's also change it to 2 pixels like this. Now let's remove this year value. We will remove that by drilling up to higher level and leaving just quarters. So let's go up, and now let's go to next level like this. Now we can see only quarters. And now we will apply conditional formatting that will show us dark green color when value is 100% and white green color for lower percentage. And to do that, we will need to apply conditional formatting. So now in format pane, scroll down to cell elements, go to cell elements, and now turn on background color. And now, as you can see, Power BI automatically applied conditional formatting according to value. Higher values are displayed with darker color, while lower are displayed with lighter color. So let's change this only to green. Format style, leave it to gradient. Apply to values only. What fields should we base this on? SLA compliance rate, leave it as it is. And now, minimum value. So minimum value should be, so this is just our assumption. You can set it up differently. So minimum value should be 70%. Ticket owner must not have compliance rate below 70%. And if that's the case, we will see white color. Now let's change this from lowest color to custom. And here in enter value, we will type 0.7, and this will be 70%. And let's add here something light green like this. Now let's set maximum values. Highest value will be dark green like this. And let's add also here, add a middle color. So if SLA compliance rate is 90%, select here custom and add here 0.9. Then color will be, let's add something that is in the middle like this, and select OK. Now let's change these values from black color to white color because it will be more visually appealing. And to do that, let's go to format pane and let's select specific column, and here select SLA compliance rate, and for text color let's choose white and change decimal places to only 1, or let's do it to 0. This will be much better, and set alignment to center. Now let's make these values bold. Go to values and select bold and increase font to 11. Let's try without bold. Yeah, let's leave it bold. Now one more thing I want to do is to increase this assigned to field, and to do that let's select this vertical line and expand it a little bit, and expand this also. That's it. And we have completed our heat map. Now once we build all the visualization needed for this report, let's add final two visualization, and those are slicers. And before we add slicers, let's just move this visualization a little bit so we have better overview. So let's leave this bar chart in bottom left corner, total tickets here, this is fine. Let's reduce them a little bit. Median resolution time, let's put it next to total tickets as it should be, like this. SLA rate, let's leave it here. Total tickets by category, let's resize it like this. And also bar chart, let's increase width a little bit. And this SLA rate, I want to put it to be same width as donut chart. Let me try to do that. Let's expand this. And this. Okay, this looks much better. Let me check. if I can put these values in the center, so select column headers and let's try like this. Okay, that's good. Set it to center. Now let's add two slicers that we are missing. One of them is date slicer and second one will be category slicer. Now for date slicer, I usually use normal slicer, and that is this one, standard slicer. And now we will add here date hierarchy. And it is always best way to add your date hierarchy because, let me show you why. And let's format this a little bit, but okay, we can do it like this. So now when we add it as a date hierarchy, we can drill down. So here we have all results for 2024. If we drill down, we have ordered by quarters, then we can drill down per each month within quarter, and that's it. But if you add only date, let me show you how it works with standard date. You will have check boxes for each date, and this is not something that you want to have in your report. So let's continue with year hierarchy like this. And now let's go to format pane, go to slicer settings and change this to drop down menu. And in selection, we want to see select all. And let me expand this. Now we have select all, this select all, and we have our date hierarchy. Next thing that we are going to do is we will change this title, but this is not standard title. This is slicer header, and we will just turn it off. And let's add title date like this. And now let's resize it. Let's add it somewhere here in the top. Let's move this a little bit. And next visualization we will create this category slicer, and for this one we will use card slicer. So go to visualization menu and select tile slicer. Where is it? Let me select it again. Tile slicer, here it is. Find category, drag and drop, and here we have buttons as a slicer. Now if you click on button, you will get results for this value that is within button. So now we have data displayed only for security tickets. And let's also format this a little bit. Let's go to layout. Layout, we want to see max rows shown, one row, and we want to see 4 columns because we have 4 categories. Let's reduce this, move it up. We don't want title because it is obvious that these are categories. Now let's continue with formatting. Shape, let me see what we have for shape. No. So layout, reduce this. Now go to buttons, and here we have apply settings to default. For default, we will remove borders, and now let's change settings to hover. So when we hover over the button, we want to change background color. So go to here to fill and change background color to light green, something like this, or maybe more. Okay, let's leave it like this. And let's add accent bar, turn it on, expand this, and we want to see it on left side. Color will be dark green, and here it is on the left side. You see vertical line, and let's just increase width to 6. This is fine, maybe 7. Okay, and now let's apply rules for selected state. Go to state and select selected. Now once we select any value, we want to be in different colors so we can distinguish which value is selected. Now under fill for selected state, we will go with purple color. And let me show you how it works. So let's select security, and now button is purple, and let's also add accent bar here, and accent bar will be white to match color of the value. And let's also change width, increase it to 7, like this. So let me see if this is working. So when you hover over it, it's green, and when you select it, it's purple. Okay, that's it. We have created both slicers and completed building our report. Now, final touch is to create background for this dashboard, and we will do that by using Figma. To access Figma, navigate to your web browser, and in search bar, just type for Figma, like this, and select this link that has this F icon. So before we start building our background image, Figma is a very powerful UI UX design tool that will help you to create fancy looking background visualizations and to make your report stands out. So here I have some of mine examples that I have created using Figma, and this is the example that we're going to use. Let me just open it. And this will be background for our dashboard that we have just created. And let me show you from beginning how I created this dashboard using Figma. So let's go back and let's select this new design file. Just for you to know, if you do not have account, you will have to register, but it is totally free. First thing that we will do is we need to add a frame, and to add a frame, select this icon here and just drag and drop it. Size of the frame should match size of your Power BI dashboard, and usually it is 1280 with 720. So let me find that. Here it is, dimensions on the right side here. So width is 1280, height is 720. So this is our starting frame, our canvas. Next step will be to set background color for this frame, and that will do that here. We have fill option, just click here and color menu will open. Now you need to select color or to enter hex code. I will enter hex code, that will be F7, F9, FB. And it is light gray color. Now let's create first rectangle where we will put our main KPI visualization. To do that, navigate below in this menu and select rectangle from here. And again, just drag and drop it. Now size of this rectangle should match the size of your visualization, and let me check what is the size of our visualization for this rectangle. Go to Power BI report and let's select it. I want to make it a little bit bigger. So go to format pane, select size and style, and here you have height 233 and width is 304. So let's do that in Figma. So height is 233 and width is 304. Let me check. I'm not sure. Yes, width is 304. Okay, that's good. Now let's add background color for this visualization. And to change color of this visualization, go to fill. And now from here you can select single color, but I want to have gradient. Now select gradient color, and first color will be, select, this is our first colors, click here, and first color will be 502783. This one, and second one will be 753 DE7 like this, and let's set direction. You can set direction just by moving these white circles. Let me move it from here to here like this, and let's set stops. Now first stop will be 34, second one will be 100, and let's set for the second one, and that will be 100, and here we will have 56 like this, but this doesn't look good, so let me just put this to 100 like this. And next step, what we need to do is we need to make rounded corners, and you can do that here. Click here on this 0 and set it to 10. Now let's add some shadows. To add shadows, here you have effects menu, click on the plus, and here now we have drop shadow. Let's add one more drop shadow and one more drop shadow, and you can customize them here. And let's remove one, we don't need 3 drop shadows, so let's modify them. Let's change color. Let's try with this one, but let's make it a little bit lighter like this. And also let's customize the second one using same color and something like this. Also you can change here blur. Let's change it to 8 like this. Now we have created a rectangle for our first visualization. Now let's create a rectangle for second visualization, and again let's select this one and let's just drag and drop it. Let's check size of our second visualization, and that is 233, 356, 356, and 233. For this one, fill, we want to have it white. This is not full white. Let me check. Now FFF is full white, and now let's add drop shadows here, one more, and let's make rounded corners. Okay, set them to 10. Okay, now because all other rectangles will be the same, they will be all white, we just need to copy and paste this rectangle that we have just created. So you can do that by selecting Ctrl C and then Ctrl V, and here we will add this for this heat map. Let's repeat same step, Ctrl C, Ctrl V for donut chart. Let's expand this, and let's repeat same step for bar chart. And now let's create a rectangle for our slicers. Let's Ctrl C, Ctrl V again, and our first slicer will be here. Let's make it bigger. This will be date slicer, and second one will be category slicer. That will be this one here, like this. And now one more step that we need to do is to add title here, and we will add title by selecting this T button like here, and again drag drop, and let's name it IT performance dashboard, and let's add tickets. Now select this text, and here you can change size of the text. Let's change it to 20 or maybe more, 32, 24. Okay, 24. Let's change color. Let's use gray color like this, and let's make it bold. So here under regular, select semi-bold, bold. Let's go with semi-bold. And that's it. We have created everything. Now just select here under layers, select this frame, and you will also select all these rectangles. Scroll down here on the right side, select export, go to export frame, and it is downloaded. It's probably in your downloads file. Now let's check it. Click anywhere on blank canvas, select canvas background from format menu, go to browse, and under downloads, select frame, reduce transparency to 0. And now let's set our visualizations to match background that we have created. Now this one goes here, this one here. This one is good. We need to reduce this one. Let's put this here on the middle. Reduce this one. Here also. Now what we need to do is to set background to be transparent for all our visualization. And let's do it one by one. Select date, background, turn it off. Do we have borders also? Turn it off if you have any border here. Okay, background off. Let's go to heatmap, background off. Let's make it a bigger little bit. This one also background off, but this one has one more background, and that is under card menu. Okay, card background off, and let's click here on format painter, and it will apply same steps here. Okay, we do not want to do that. Go back one more step. Now let's remove background from here. And where do we have background? Again, go to cards, background, border. Okay, we need to set this value to be white. And let's go to callout values, color white. And also let's set reference labels to be aligned on the left side. Apply settings to. Here we need to select all. And now under value, under layout, set horizontal alignment to left, and also change color to white. Title, let me see, is this white? Okay, change also this to white. And we need to change this total tickets callout value, total tickets title to white. And where is it? A label, and change it to white. Okay, this looks better. This one also has background. Go to cards, turn off border. For this one, same. Go to size and style, turn off border. Let's do for this one. Do we have background? Yes, we do have. And that's it. Let's move this one a little bit. We have successfully completed building this dashboard. Now, I would like to take one moment from you and to ask you to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you learned at least one new thing, or you will use any of resources that I will put below in the description so you can use it. I will also leave this data set. I will upload it on my GitHub page so you can reuse it. If that's the case, then don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me down in the comments what do you think about this dashboard. See you in one of my next videos. Bye.